Hi there, Connor from Just Vertical here, and today we're going to talk about cleaning and maintenance on your unit. So I've been growing in my eave here for about 6 months, so it's about time to clean out the inside. We're going to clean the lines, clean out the reservoir, and we'll show you just how easy that is today. So to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking my reservoir out of the inside of my cabinet here. So the first thing to do is locate your pump cord here. So this is the black cord running from your pump to your timer box, and you're going to detach that so that you make sure that no water is going to run, the pump's not going to trigger while the reservoir is not in there. So now that I've detached it here, you can see this is the little black pump timer box. I am ready to take my reservoir out. So the easiest way to do that is to make sure all the cords are pulled into the cabinet. So you can see I had my pump cord running outside previous. So I've got that clear. And then what I do is I just turn my reservoir like this, angle it down, and there you go. So I've got that out. And you're gonna wanna have a little bowl, a towel or something just to put the pump in as it will drip. I've actually just got the lid of the seedling kit here. So I'm gonna place that in there. Done. Now my reservoir is good to go. So I'm gonna take this over to my sink. So here I have my reservoir out of my unit. You can see over time you're gonna get a little accumulation of debris down there. It tends just to be little pieces of roots that slip through, pieces of peat moss plug that may have fallen off. So that's why we like to drain this out completely once every 6 months, get rid of it and clean it out. So to begin, I'm just gonna empty this straight into my sink here. So this is all safe for city sewage. So I've got it all cleared out here. If you need to, you do have a spout on the end that you can use to empty anything else that's not coming out. Now my tank's not too bad, but I'm still gonna give it just a wipe out with warm water and a rag, just to get any little bits of buildup or scum off the sides of that there. So for our next step here, we are going to refill this with warm water, and then we are going to use our line cleaner. So that's our H2O2 line cleaner. This is food grade hydrogen peroxide, and this is going to just wipe any of the slime, scum, anything that's built up in our pipes or in our garden, right out and back in here. So we're going to fill this up with warm water. I'll fill it up about to here. You don't want to fill it up too much, otherwise it's heavy to carry and can splish or splash onto your ground. So let me get this filled up and we'll be right back. Great, so you can see I have filled up my reservoir with warm water here. As a next step, we're gonna take our H2O2, our line cleaner, we're gonna put it in here. So you can see on the label, instructs you to put one 10 milliliter set of H2O2, which is one capful, right into the tank with warm water. So when you're using the H2O2, it will be mildly irritating on your skin if you have a cut or something. So we do recommend you be careful with this. Wear gloves if you've got them, and just put it right into the water. So one capful, right in, seal that back up, and we are going to bring this back over to our eave. So here we are back at our eave. Now, I always take this as a good opportunity to wipe out the bottom cabinet here of any dust or debris while you've got your reservoir out. Clean that up nicely. Now you heard us talking earlier about what we're looking to clean out. So you can see a bit of coloring in these lines here. Most of this is actually just salt buildup from the nutrients running through there, as well as just like we saw, there was a little bit of plant matter being roots and peat moss stuck in our reservoir. Some of that can rub up against the sides of the lines. And that's what we want to clean out just to make sure we keep our plants growing their best. So before you put your water with your hydrogen peroxide in there, there's two things you're going to want to do. Is you're going to one, you're going to take your pump timer box out because you're going to want to run the pump consistently. So make sure that is out of the way. And then the second is to make sure that your plants are out of your garden. You don't want to run the hydrogen peroxide through the system with the plants in there, just because they really won't like that. So I have got mine all taken out here. Again, super easy to pop out, right? They just sit in our little black pods here. Take that out and put them to the side. You're only gonna be cleaning for about 20 minutes here. So you don't need to really worry about putting these guys in water. Of course, it won't hurt if you do love your little plant babies. So now that I've got those out, we're gonna take our reservoir here with hydrogen peroxide, move this over. So again, just like we did on taking it out, we're gonna put that pump back in, slide it in, put the T in, get the tube, and just slide it into the back there. So make sure all the tubes are in. And again, just like I mentioned, we are gonna bypass the pump and we're gonna let this run for about 20 minutes. So to get it to run straight without the timer box, you just attach the two ends of the cord, so I've got mine here, to each other. And just like that, off they go. So that's gonna run, we're gonna let that run for 20 minutes, and what you'll see is you'll actually see stuff starting to get washed out into our reservoir. So while the system is running with the hydrogen peroxide in there, this is a great opportunity to just wipe off your front faces, wipe down anything you've got, any salt buildup here. So you can see I've got some here. This should just wipe off with warm water. But because that hydrogen peroxide is diluted nicely in there, don't be afraid. Just, stick your rag in there, get it a little wet, use that to wipe these off. Also, if you've got any empty pods, like I do on this side because I'm ready to transplant, make sure to leave those in there. The system will actually clean those for you too. It almost works like a mini dishwasher in that way, and that is gonna save you some work. So I'm gonna wipe down the front, get all these salt stains off, and then we're gonna be ready to finish up and put fresh water in. So I've had this running for 20 minutes now, so it's about done. To turn off your pump, you're just gonna detach the cord here. So again, just detach the cord from what used to be plugged into your pump timer here. So get that out. Get your lid back because we are going to, again, just take this water out, dump it, and put fresh water in. So you're gonna let this drain so I can hear that this is finished draining. There's no more splashing. The system's really gotten all the water out of the tubes there. So same as before, I spin mine and slide it over here. And just gonna put the pump in there so that it doesn't drip on the ground for me, put it under the tube in case anything else drips. Well, let's take this back over to the sink. So again, this is safe to go right down your drain. Nothing to worry about, it'll actually clean your drain out for you. So that's all done. Reservoir is looking super clean here. No need to wipe this out again. It's actually nice if there's a little bit of hydrogen peroxide and water left in there. So now that I'm gonna redose this with nutrients, I'm gonna fill it up with cold water this time because there's actually more dissolved oxygen in cold water and the plants like that much better. All right, so we've got our tank cleaned out, fresh cold water in here, ready for nutrients. So I'm using our two-part, our Aqua Vega A and B solution. And that's of course because I am growing herbs, lettuces, greens right now. This is our mix for vegetative growth. If you're ever growing flowering plants like tomatoes, cucumbers, strawberries, you're gonna wanna use the blend for flowering plants or the Flores blend. Using the nutrients, super easy. You've got a built-in measuring cup here. Just adjust the camera up for you here on the left-hand side. So again, these are safety bottles so that they don't come open in transit. Push, done, pops right off. I've got a fresh bottle here, cap still on it. I'm just gonna peel this off. Peel this off, just like that. And we are going to squeeze out enough to hit the marker line we want here. We generally recommend 10 milliliters of each in your reservoir and then adding another 10 milliliters every 2 weeks. Sometimes you might need more if your plants are very large, but mine are still quite small and I've got new ones going in there. So I've got this filled up to 10 milliliter mark. Dump that right in there, reseal it, and then do the same. My other one, this one's already open. Again, you just squeeze it right up, fill it up to the line there, dump it in. There's no need to worry about mixing this around in here because the pump is actually going to do that for you. So you can see you get that really cool effect. As you can see, the nutrients settle down, but that's why we have the pump, to mix that up and pump it up for us. So now I'm going to bring this back over to my eave and finish. Okay, now before I put this in, I just wanted to show you. So you can see these lines are definitely a lot cleaner than they were before. Most of this is actually now on the outside from sitting in the reservoir, but we don't really worry about that. And even our drain line here, you can see how much clearer that is. You're never going to get these back to 100% looking like new, but the hydrogen peroxide works and it actually will eliminate all the pathogens for you, and we just drop those right down the drain. So now our reservoir is ready to go back in. So you all should be pros at this by now, having seen me do it 3 times now. Pump, drops back in. I'm gonna take out just my little holder here. Again, slide my reservoir up here, left-hand side, tuck the tubes in, pull the tube from the back, up and over, push everything over, and there you go. So that's back in. And then the last thing you're gonna need to do is reattach your pump cord to its timer box. So they only go one way, just like that, on the one side, my other side under here. Back in, you're good to go. Now I'm just gonna pop my pretty little plants here right back up into their spots in the garden. And that's it, that's all it takes to clean your indoor garden. Again, we recommend you do this once every 3 to 6 months or when you restart your garden after it's been off for a while.